Welcome back to the main stage. And first and foremost, I would like to congratulate our winning teams from each challenge. They have been announced in the previous session, so congratulations to all of you. All the 7 winning teams will receive a prize money of 3,000 euros. So I hope you have good plans with this money. So in this session now, we are coming to the final round. The top 3 teams will be awarded by our extraordinary jury. And by now we can, in the background or meanwhile, invite them to the stage. But for all of you that have participated, now you see all the teams that have won and the different challenges. So again, congratulations to all of you. And this will also be our order. So get ready, dear teams, to pitch again. It's the same procedure. You have 5 minutes of pitch and then 2 minutes of Q&A from the jury. So again, try your best. The best of luck, as I said before. So by now, let's make our jury visible, I would say, and welcome them. Maybe you can show even a virtual applause. If you haven't seen already, you have reactions that you can post. So do that. That's great. Awesome. And very kind of you. So that's the only thing that we can do in a virtual context. But as you see, dear jury, you are warmly welcomed. Mm-hmm. Perfect. So let's see if we are complete already. Mm-hmm. So in the meantime, as I'm checking if the jury is complete, we can also welcome the first team, as you see on the screen. The first team pitching today is Centurio, and the representative of the team will be invited to the stage as well.
Hi.
Hello, Michael. Hope you had a great time, and congratulations again for winning.
Thank you.
Let's try if you can share your screen without any problems. And then I would say we can start.
Let's do it.
Perfect. So
you can see my screen?
I can now see your screen perfectly. So the jury is ready, I hope. And if you are, Michael, we can just start.
Okay, thank you. My name is Michael and I'm the CEO of Centurio. Our mission is to decarbonize heating grids with the combination of IoT and AI. Let me short explain it. The big problem is that we consume more than 50% of our energy for heat, and over 80% of that is coming from fossil fuels. And if we want to achieve the climate goals and when we want to break the dependency on fossil fuels, we need to do something. And one good option is to supply heat via heating grids. But heating grids are not that efficient in sometimes. So our approach is to reduce these inefficiencies through data science. And our approach is that we begin at the demand side. So we are analyzing how much heat is consumed. And if we get a 1% high efficiency, we can save 50,000 tons of CO2 per year and about 250,000 euros per year in costs. And this is an example for a middle-sized heating grid. So our product is an AI-based customer monitoring software for customers of heat suppliers. And they can see, for example, the historical data of the demand and the costs and the CO2 emissions, have KPI monitoring and alerts. And for example, we are making forecasts with integrated machine learning about their future consumption costs and CO2 emissions. But not only the customer has a good point in this, utilities have too, and they can analyze the demand from each customer and so combine these data sets to derive measures for better operations from the heat grid, and in addition, reduce the heat losses and optimize the complete heating network, which saves costs, CO2 emissions. And our reference is Stiag Fernwärme. Stiag Fernwärme is one of the biggest energy supply in Germany. And in addition, we have built two more tools. One is the anomaly detection from supply and return temperatures. And in combination with that, complete tool for the spread analysis from temperatures. The big value proposition is that first, customer and utilities can understand the energy which is needed and provided, and so save money and CO2 and get future-proof and meet future climate regulations now and establish green business models. Our ZGI fit is a win-win-win situation for customers, utilities, and climate. And we fit the SDG 7, 11, 12, and 13. Our sales and business model approach is that we make sales and development over the summer period, and then in the winter period, we just concentrate on performing and evaluating our system. And we provide our solution via a software as a service model to companies, and we charge in the point how big is the heating network and how much data points are connected to our solution. Our first market approach is for Germany, and there we can have some numbers. We can show you some numbers. For example, 126 terawatt hours energy are needed in the district heating sector, and 28 million tons of CO2 emissions are emitted by district heating, and consumes 1.2 billion euros per year in cost for CO2 certificates. The team is, besides me, Alexander Stoll. He's our CTO, and his expertise is in data science and data engineering, and my expertise is in energy engineering and business management. We are supported by the European Commission in the REACH incubator, and we have won some prizes, for example, from the Federal Ministry of Economy and Climate Actions. Our vision is to build an AI-controlled supervisory platform for heating grids, and so decarbonize at the end the heat sector. Thank you very much, and I will end with our claim: be tomorrow's heat supplier today. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Team Centurio. This is your virtual applause, as you see, and also the party symbols, they are all for you. Now I would say we'll start with the Q&A section, and I will just ask the jury to just start asking. 2 minutes we have.
Then I'll jump in and break the silence, if that's fine. Thanks, Michael, for the pitch. 2 quick questions. Can you speak a bit more about the user perspective in terms of the end customer? I want to better understand, if you think particularly about an individual household member as an end customer, what's the utility of the information that you provide? How can I make sense of that information so I can act better with my environmental ambitions and to save money? And then secondly, when you think of like customer behavior, we shouldn't assume that more information leads to changed or better behavior. We have seen like nudges for changed energy consumption that actually a comparison with the neighbor community was more powerful than a nudge that outlined how much you might be able to save over the course of the year in the US, for example. So I just wonder, to what degree have you thought about like the right behavioral messages and testing out what works where?
For sure. The big thing is to monitor the temperatures from the heating customers. So I will show you one time more this this graphic. So here a customer can see the historical data and the future data. So if you know how much is planned for your demand side, a customer could activate some flexible actions to reduce some demand. And so, for example, reduce the peaks in the net, and the utility could give you a personal demand profile and a personal pricing if you are flexible in your demand.
Thank you for answering. The time is over. So as you see, 2 minutes can go very quickly. Thank you again, Centurio. And now, as the time is going on, I would like and welcome the second team, which is the banana packaging team. So the team will be invited and even gets an applause in advance before presenting, as I see. So as soon as you're here, let me know. Okay, I just was informed that there are some technical issues with the team. They just were dropped out of the event. So just to be fair, we'll give them a chance later on. We'll just keep on going with the next team, which is, I hope I just pronounced it correctly. It's KP, Digitize Rural Urban Agriculture. I hope you feel that I've pronounced your name correctly. We try to invite you to the stage by now. So, William, please unmute yourself so we can hear you on. Oh, he left the stage. Let's see if we can make this happen again. So this is pretty normal for a virtual event to happen. William, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can now hear you. Perfect.
Great. There's actually 3 of us in my team that are presenting. I don't know if they've been invited to come up on here as well.
So no worries, we'll figure this out. Are you the one sharing your screen? So maybe you can just set that up, and in the meantime...
No, Lena, my colleague Lena will be.
Lena will be, so let's see.
And also Maria, if you could invite her as well, please.
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect.
Okay.
So as soon as you're ready, start sharing your screen. And we'll make sure to keep on the right time. What's the team name? Like, how do you pronounce the team name correctly? I couldn't tell, like, from the beginning.
Kabi.
It's Kapi? Okay, so how, yeah. I mean, we can just have a chat until you guys have set up everything. So how come you chose that name?
Well, it's the acronym for the company we work for, Kabi, the Centre for Agriculture and Bioscience International.
Okay, so I thought it might have a personal note to it, but it's very formal, so.
Yes, quite formal, yeah.
Perfect. So how about now? Are you guys ready? I can see Maria now. Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Is Lena also there? Can you hear us? Lena, maybe we can just try the sound, if it works. Just answer any kind of word.
Okay, it seems like Lena's having connectivity issues. So I'll go ahead and
Perfect, thank you.
share my screen. One moment.
So maybe Elena can just, leave the stage and then try to enter it again. But at the meantime, if you could start, that would be great.
Yes, just let me share.
Hi, sorry, my internet is not good enough for this.
No worries.
That would
Your team has said your team will cover you.
Okay. Great.
This can happen in virtual events. So perfect. We can see something now. So please, all of you guys watching, give them a round of applause, because I know this can be quite tough if it does not work out directly. Thank you. See, this applause is all for you. So now just keep track of the time. 5 minutes. Here you go.
Okay, so just before we start, Lena, have you got a good enough connection to talk, or shall me and Mario cover it? Okay, that's fine. I'll go ahead then, Lena. You try and just listen in if you can. Okay, so hi everyone, I hope you can hear me okay. My name is Will, and me and my colleague Maria and Lena are here to present our proposal, which is to develop digital solutions to combat armoured bush cricket outbreaks in southern Africa. So about how this proposal came about, last year farmers in Zambia came to us and the Ministry of Agriculture asking for help to help them combat local outbreaks of this cricket, which has become a major pest over recent decades because of climate change and deforestation. Because of this, farmers are having to cut down more trees to sell for charcoal, which is just fueling this cycle, which is making the pest more and more much more worse every season. So for our proposal, we're wanting to develop a decision-making tool to advise farmers on the best practice or best management practices for cricket outbreaks, to help them achieve food and nutrition security, and to also increase rural farmer livelihoods. The tool will promote sustainable, safer management options using a bottom-up approach, which has been adapted from a 6-year project on locusts in China. So looking at this diagram here, we have an overview of the various data elements of our service. So looking on the left, we have our data inputs, such as temperature and rainfall, soil type and moisture, and then various bio data sets, such as cricket hatching and speed of development. These will come from a variety of data sources, such as the data collection element of our mobile app, as well as various open source Earth observation sources. And all of these data layers feed into our internal database, which is building off existing infrastructure developed through past projects that we've worked on by our project partner Assimilar. And once all of this live data is run against our bush cricket pest model, we get our outputs, which you can see on the right, which feed directly into our mobile app, which Mario will now talk about in some more detail.
Thank you, Will. So our digital solution to this problem is to create the Armoured Bush Cricket app, a decision-making and communication tool. Within this app, it has 4 components: the data collection, distribution map, pest management, and feedback. And as you can see on the wireframes on the right, this captures our homepage, which also includes a potential for monetization as a biopesticide ad there. The data collection element of our app here is a simple form for our end users to use it in the field, capturing information on the nesting sites, including soil type and pest density. The simple form will have drop-down options and images to have a positive user experience. And we've also included the possibility that they may not be internet available whilst in the field. So we have included a drafts option, so forms can be filled and saved, and then once connected, can be submitted. The distribution map is something that the data collection will feed into, as well as other sources, as Will mentioned. Here is an example of a map of Zambia. It captures information on the location of the pests as well as their severity. So as you can see on the key here, as the darker the purple goes, the higher the problem is. When particular areas have gone above a certain threshold, end users will receive an alert to notify them of the issue and how to manage them. This will be done using our pest management aspect of the tool. Here we are providing end users with management techniques on how to deal with the pest. We will provide this information in short, medium-term and long-term management techniques to always ensure that their approach is sustainable. And finally, our feedback element of the tool is a collaborative space where scientists and extension officers can communicate, share success stories, and can be reached out to should there arise any problems. Thank you, Will.
Thanks, Maria. So just to wrap up, here we have a breakdown of our various user groups split into 3 core areas. On the left, we have our potential payers, including governments, commercial farmers, and biocontrol companies, and they would pay for the wider service and paying for the users specifically to access and use the mobile tool, such as extension officers, government scientists, and NGOs. And the information that they share, as well as the insights gained from using the app, would be shared with the beneficiaries, so notably smallholder farmers, consumers, and commercial farmers. And then finally, touching on sustainability, the research and data elements of our project would feed into future national level policy and decision making, and we would also produce open access data sets for future research. And then over the last few weeks of this challenge, we've been developing a business model for the mobile app. An element of that is, of course, looking at the monetization for the mobile tool to generate enough revenue to keep the lights running, or keep the lights on for the app to keep running for the foreseeable future. And that is the end of our pitch. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Team Kelly, for presenting. Now we'll just go on. That's your applause and thumbs up. Now we go on to the jury Q&A. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask the team right now.
I've got a question. Maybe I'll jump in. Thanks. So just maybe if you could tell us sort of why is an app the solution here? So the farmers have smartphones, and are there other methods that they share information? Is there any offline component? Tell us about that.
Yeah, no, great question. So the farmers, not a lot of smallholder farmers would have a smartphone or access to a mobile app. So we're targeting the government agencies and extension officers who typically are the ones with the device capabilities to access those sorts of tools, and they share the information with the farming communities, the head farmers, and things like that. This challenge was specifically for us to look at the mobile app, but for the wider project, there are also elements of doing mass messaging campaigns through SMS and radio to reach those offline farmers, which is something our team at Cabby has a lot of experience with over the last few years on various projects.
And then just a follow up then, so is the main idea to get information to the farmers through the extension workers? Is that correct?
Yes,
or are
that's
you
one of
also
the,
kind of crowdsourcing their own knowledge? I mean, they're quite close to the problem. They're the farmers. So
No,
maybe if you could
definitely.
tell us about that side of it too.
Yeah, so well, an element in the app specifically, we've got the feedback bank, which is a place for the farmers and the users, or through the users, the farmers can share their local knowledge with other users. But one of the main channels that we're targeting is through extension workers who already meet with the farmers and share information with them.
Yeah, and just to follow on, we're capturing that data that they're being able to provide to support us with the pest modelling, which will then help fill in the distribution maps, which we're hoping to sort of improve and sort of build on with the current app as a second iteration of the mobile app. So yeah, we're hoping that a looping system will help always improve constantly with the data.
Thank you. The time is over. I thank you, Team Cabby, for presenting. Now, as I've skipped one team before, I will introduce and welcome Team Banana Packaging Team to the stage. I know that you must be here by now. So, yes. Armel, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Wonderful. It works now. Hopefully the connection is good enough. Perfect. So feel free to share your screen now.
Okay, give me 1 second. I can share my screen.
All right. We'll give you 1 second.
Okay.
We'll even give you 2
Can you
seconds.
see it? Okay.
Not yet. Oh, wait. Now I can see your screen. Perfect. I see you presenting.
Okay.
Yeah. So whenever
Okay.
you feel ready, let's start.
Okay, thank you. Afternoon, everyone. Do you know that around the world, 11% of wood deforestation is used to produce paper? I'm Sijeta Mohamel. I'm founder of PRA. Me and my team, we decide to solve those problems by processing waste paper coming from city and also waste banana tree coming from banana production into eco-friendly packaging like shopping bag, cardboard, and roll of paper through our banana application. Like I said, the first problem is deforestation, but we also have plastics pollution. Here in Cameroon, we observe that 600,000 of tons of plastics waste causing the loss of 200,000 hectares of our vegetation cover. This is a real problem that is supposed to be solved. And we are among the best provider of banana. Something like 4 million tons of banana are produced each year, which means that we have raw material, we have waste available. The second thing is that we have a big market of packaging. People need packaging in Africa and around the world. But the digital part of our solution is to solve those problems of difficult access to waste paper, to put together seller of paper waste, seller of agricultural waste, and buyer. And the second part is that farmers really need a remote management of their solutions, the remote management of your diet of their waste. We observe also a rural woman in employment. That is a problem that we are already beginning to solve. Our solution is really simple. The first thing is that when the farmer collect the diet, we come and we collect the stems. After the stem, you process into fiber, and we take the waste collected in the different city to add to the fiber, and finally we have our biodegradable packaging. That is what we are doing now. But the next step will be to sell credit carbon, to sell organic fertilizer, and to use biogas in our processing. The digital part of our solution is an application to put together all the paper waste seller and all the paper waste buyer the first time. The second time, to also put together the seller and the buyer of agricultural waste, because we have it enough. And the other hand, we will help farmers to manage their diet, for example, to know exactly when they are supposed to collect the diet, to know exactly when they are supposed to remove the waste to avoid production and methane and destruction of environment. Thanks to Innovate2030, because we begin our applications, like you can see, we have a design of our login page. What is our value proposition? The first thing to know is that we add new revenue stream to farm by buying their waste, by proposing their application to sell. And also, we are really focused on gender equity. For example, we are working with rural farmers, rural women, and we have 60% of our company which is owned and managed by women. We have also value proposition in terms of scalability. You know, our solution can adapt in any country. For example, in Germany, we know that we produce enough sugar beet. We can use the same waste to produce the same packaging. We can use the same application to interconnect the different waste sellers in this area. And we are already on the market. We know exactly what is the problem, and we know exactly what is the good solution for those problems. Next year, we will have 3,000 tons of greenhouse gases which will be saved. We will have 100 in country, and we plan to impact 10,000 young people by sharing our experience. We have an international team just to put together different behavior, to put together a different community, and let us be the change that we want to see in the world. Some media talk about us, like you can see, but we really invite you to join us, even if it is with fund, with skill, and let us leave no one behind. The next step for us is to finalize our data collection, to design the first version of our application, to test it, to increase our production capacity. Thank you, and I'm waiting question.
Thank you very much for your presentation. So yeah, as you've already introduced, the jury can now ask you any questions. You are here to answer them. So feel free. I can assume you left our jury speechless, but maybe there's a question coming in.
Thanks so much. And I'm going to come in with a question. This was a great pitch, really interesting. What I'm curious about, what you have done in terms of comparing the product, the packaging that you're producing with the current dominant status quo, plastic, and what have you found might be some disadvantages, and how you're going to go about addressing them with the users who are used to using plastic?
Please, can you repeat the question?
Of course. I'm curious if you have invested in product research to look at what might be advantages but also disadvantages of your product compared to the dominant status quo plastics, and how you can address it to get future clients accustomed to your product and address what you found in the product research.
Okay. At the beginning of our project, we're facing those problems to really know exactly the value proposition and to compare to the other solution that the customer already use. But we realize that with the economy of scale, we will have a better price for the same quality compared to the other paper packaging. And also with the customer that we already have, we are selling paper, and the customer that we have, the feedback that we have is that the biodegradable part of our packaging encourage them to really buy our packaging and to really use our packaging. And also here in Cameroon, we have a law. We avoid some kind of plastics, and that is really a good argument to help the different customer to use our packaging. I don't know if I understand well your question.
Yeah, it did respond to it. Thanks so much. I'm looking at Lydia because I think we're already at time. It's always such a short window. Thanks again for the pitch.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
why I'm showing up for all the others that haven't noticed yet. I try to not be in the focus, but if I show up, the time is over. But again, thank you very much to the team Banana Packaging.
Thanks.
So next is the team CI Herb that has won the challenge Enhanced Climate Resilience. Evandro is showing up perfectly.
Yes, hello.
So you can now share your screen and get ready for your final pitch.
Okay, I hope you can see my screen already.
You can see your screen perfectly. We can hear you well. So I would say let's start.
Okay, perfect. My name is Evandro. I'm from Klurb, and I'm here to present you a tool called HARD that makes disaster risk management simple. And I don't think I need to expand on the fact that we face an increased number and impact of disasters around the planet. And although the good news is that we do have a good number of cities that have a disaster warning system in place, unfortunately, most of them don't, which basically cause a huge amount of losses in lives and properties that could be avoided. And the need to up our game in terms of disaster risk action is widely recognized by most of the major international agenda. But unfortunately, this reality is not seen on the ground. So to understand why this is not actually happening, let's pretend now for a moment that you are actually the city official working in a city and tasked to actually take action against disasters, as part of your team. And you need to do quite a few different activities that include from mapping the different risk areas in your cities. You have to issue and receive warnings whenever a disaster is coming. And of course, you have to coordinate with the different response teams whenever a disaster actually strikes. So in summary, the options that you'd have today are basically either you use whatever software you have at hand. So you can use social media, for communication, office, or even a paper, to map different areas. And although you can reach a certain impact with those tools, they're not made for that specific purpose. Now, on the other hand, if you're very lucky and you have the resources, you can use very sophisticated software such as ArcGIS and others, or you can even hire a consultancy firm. Problem is, only very few cities around the planet actually have that luxury. So what we do with HARD is that we combine the flexibility and the usability of the simple tools, and we simplify the technical complexity of the other ones, and we merge everything into a software package that actually allows even the least resource cities around the planet to take action, to prepare, to respond, and to recover from disasters in a very quick way, in a very quick manner, in a matter of weeks, with limited need for external support. And we're sure that this can actually happen because both our web-based platform and our mobile app include a series of features that actually facilitate the use not only by city officials but even for non-technical people and of course citizens, and where they can insert, analyze, and actually use the data to take action against disasters in a very simple format. And as a result, what we have at local level is, of course, the reduced loss of lives and property, which is the most important thing. At the same time, we can encourage active and ongoing city engagement. So really ensuring that all of the different groups are part of the disaster risk action in the city. Whereas at the global scale, the fact that many more cities can actually make use of this tool in such a quick turnaround of time actually accelerates the action of disaster risk reduction all around the planet and allows for a much better allocation of the scarce resources that we have available on that regard. We have already applied the tool in some of the most challenging environments worldwide, which basically confirms that the approach that we're taking actually makes sense. It's working successfully in all of this context, but that in the end doesn't really come as a surprise because our team is actually led by people that have been working not only with disaster risk management but other urban related issues in more than 30 countries worldwide, and is backed up by very strong expertise in user interface and user experience, data science, and of course business development. So our target group, our target market is mostly composed by B2G and B2B2G. So we work with governments at the local and national level around the planet, as well as different NGOs and international organizations. And we offer our tool both as a software as a service, so via subscription, and as a project base, so embedded within a bigger context of a specific project that the city or an institution might be carrying out. Moving forward, we are looking at continue our advancement of the technology. We had very interesting conversations with Fraunhofer Institute and the SAP as part of the Innovate2030 program, where we want to add new features that increase the autonomy in the impact of the two use. And we take this opportunity also for a call for action, so we can engage with the Global Innovation Hub and other portfolios of cities to continue the application of the tool. So thanks again for your time and interest, and very happy to hear and answer the questions you might have.
Perfect. Right on time. So, are there any questions? You see, that's your applause.
Thank you for the applause.
I'd love to ask a question. Hi, Evandro. Thanks for the presentation. So can you tell us a little bit more about why we should choose HARD over those S3 tools that we're so familiar with, or other tools that might be on the market?
Well, it depends on where you're coming from. So maybe if you're from a city, and again, as I said, the very few cities in the world that actually have the resources to use S3 or even AutoCAD, even maybe HARD R2 is not even the perfect choice for you, because you do have the resources actually to use the more sophisticated tools, and you can use that for regard of disaster risk reduction. The thing is, as we see, maybe 1 or 2% of the cities have the resources to do that. All of the other ones, they have to rely on tools such as social media or Microsoft Office package. So basically tools that are not really made for the purpose of mapping or even for the communication or coordination between different response teams. So basically the reason I'll give for cities to use our tool are that first, they are cheaper, to use than in comparison, for example, with GIS and other similar tools. And they're very much, the HARD is very much focused on disaster risk action. So it's not just a mapping tool, but really focus on a specific purpose. They simplify existing frameworks of disaster risk action. So we're not reinventing the wheel in terms of, for example, how you assess risk or you map risk on your city or take action against it. It's just a simplification. So even the cities that don't have a lot of resources can use that. So I think those would be the two main selling points, for the tool. The fact that it's much cheaper and is much easier to use in environments with less resources. Hope that was clear.
Thank you very much, Evandro. Thank you for presenting. Now it's time for the next team. So see you later.
Thank you.
The next and fifth team in the final round, the challenge-winning team of connected and sustainable urban mobility is Dash Factory. Sandro Beck is already joining the session. That's great. And I guess you're also sharing your screen perfectly.
Yes. Hello from my side. Happy to be here and good evening. My name is Sandro. I'm co-founder and CEO of Dash Factory. To make cycling safer and more attractive in an innovative and easy to use way, we founded Dash Factory in November of 2019 and focus on innovations for smart city and urban mobility. We have two main departments at Dash Factory. The first one is Dash Bike with a hardware product and also an iOS and Android app. And with Dash Track, we have developed an urban data platform for the cities together with the city. As a team of former professional cyclists, we experience a lot of dangers on the road, especially too close passings, hit and run accidents, a very big problem in the cities. And we figured out that not only we as sporty cyclists have these problems, also commuters and everyday cyclists, they fear on the road, they hate the too close passings, and hit and run accidents is a really increasing problem, especially in urban areas. It's over 20% in every accident where a bicycle is included. The reason for conflicts between cars and bicycles is mainly the inadequate cycling infrastructure, also the bad cycling infrastructure in the cities, which also leads to problems for the cities. The increasing number of cyclists leads to an increasing number of accidents, and the city doesn't know what to improve, where to improve, and how to improve, because they have a lack of cycling data. So we started with the development of the dash bike, which is the first dash cam for cyclists, which satisfies all legal requirements to be used as a valid evidence in a court of law. It is placed under the saddle of the bicycle and is only recording if a car is passing you too close or if a crash is happening. After the ride, you can connect the device to your smartphone and see the whole ride analysis into your smartphone app. The dash bike mainly consists of an HD camera, passing distance measurement, a crash detection sensor. It has daytime running lights, GPS ride tracker, connectivity with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And the very special thing is that the records are allowed as a valid evidence in a court of law. Therefore, we have made a legal announcement for Germany and also the European Union. The price of the device is 229 euros. And this is also just revenue by selling of the hardware device, and there are no further costs for using the app. As I said, after the ride, you can connect the device to your smartphone app, and in the app, you can see the whole ride analysis. So you can see how often have you been passed too close, where were dangerous spots, or where did some events happen. You can also see the ride analysis, like how far did you go, where did you go, when did you go, and in case something happened, you can just open the sequence, you can watch the video again, download the videos with all the metadata and use it for evidence, for example, for the insurance, for the lawyer, or for whatever you needed. The market volume for dashcams is pretty interesting. Dashcams are the fastest growing product of the whole consumer electronic, with a growth of over 671% since 2015. And this is why we believe that if there is a chance to digitalize bicycle traffic and infrastructure planning, it is with dashcams, an easy add-on to every bicycle. Once the data out of the device are in the smartphone app, we have access to all the data with our urban data platform DashTrack. We are focusing on the sensor data right now, and for the future, we are also planning to use AI for video data analysis to even give more insights to the cities. But at the moment, we are taking the sensor data, anonymize them, take it, and we can automatically implement these data in the local urban data platform of the cities to give them concrete recommendations for action. We can show the cities, especially the highly frequented routes of the cyclists. We can show them critical spots in the city, accident black spots, and also the road conditions. Everything in a privacy compliant way. The revenue model for Here is software as a service, and we are selling the data in between a price of 1 to 7 euro per analyzed kilometer, depending on what the city needs. Here you can see a heat map of DashTrack, where you can switch at the bottom, for example, in between passing distances, mainly frequented routes, danger spots, and also accident black spots. With DashTrack, we can contribute together with the cities to create positive impact. We can generate up to 29% less traffic fatalities, less traffic jam in urban areas, and better air condition, especially in the cities. We can contribute to up to 12 times more parking and traffic space in the city. And the good thing is, because we do it just beside, we can do the road condition survey 90% more cost efficient. Until now, we are a team of 13 diverse people from over 5 nations. We developed a market-ready hardware product in-house. Also, we developed the iOS and Android app in-house, and also the urban data platform together with the city. Our biggest partners are the city of Leipzig, city of Jena, city of Graz, and also the city of Milan, which is the first bigger European city for Dash Factory. Here you can see our team, and we are in Innovate2030 because we believe in networking. We have made great experiences with all our accelerators, networking partners, and so we're looking forward to get in touch with you. Thank you.
We have to thank you, Sandro. Thank you for presenting the idea of Dash Bike. For our jury, it's now your time to ask questions.
Sandra, thank you for your presentation. How often do you have to recharge this device?
Yes, the device, it has a battery runtime of 6 hours. And for the future, we are also planning to implement it into e-bikes because there we don't have the battery struggle.
Can I ask also? You really convinced me. I want to buy one of these. I actually had an accident on my bike the other day. The thing is that my bike is 450 euros. And if I'm going to buy this thing for 225, you're basically adding 50% of cost to my bike. Aren't there lots of other cheaper devices like this out there? Why should I buy yours?
Yeah, so we often hear this point, but when we talk to the customer closer, they tell us that they have two budgets, you know. The one budget is for mobility. For example, the bike is like 400 or 600 euros. And the other budget is for safety. And they're paying much more for safety than for their mobility. And if you compare the products, which are kind of relevant, we don't have direct competitors, but so in the same area, they're like 219 up to 280 euros.
Sandra, I also have a question to you. I think it's a really great solution to make the cities more secure and also for the bike riders. When I want to watch the accident or like the dangerous situation I was in, is the software analyzing the problem or the situation automatically? So I just can see the special scene, or do I have to watch the whole ride that I was doing with it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so no, it's the second one, so that you can just watch the event where something happened. You can also filter in the app, for example, if you say, I just want to see the sequence where the sensor detected the crash, or where the sensor detected the car was below, I don't know, 50 centimeters or whatever you want to see. And you have some filter options in the app that you just can see the special event.
Thank you very much. So I see this is a topic that our jury is personally attached to, or in some ways, at least. Thank you for presenting. Now it's time for our next team, Multiverse, the team that has tackled the challenge, building a smart and waste-free destination. So we are kindly inviting you to stage. Randeep is already here, perfect, from Singapore, welcome. Can we make a quick sound check? Can I hear you? Can you just say something?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, your screen is already shared. Just tell us whenever you're ready and we'll start.
Are you able to see my screen?
We are able to see your screen. We hear you perfectly. Let's go.
So thank you very much. We are the team from Multiverse, which is a startup from Singapore. We started with the challenge of promoting climate-smart tourism in Porto Viejo. We realized that the first thing that we needed to do was to raise the international profile of Porto Viejo. And the best way of doing this is by projecting Porto Viejo as a high-profile contributor to issues of global significance. Climate change is the central issue of our times and touches the lives of everyone on the planet. We therefore decided to position Porto Viejo as a pathfinder to tackle three major global issues. The first issue is that tourism accounts for 5% of global emissions. And the more we travel, the more emissions there are. Each tourism trip adds about 80 kilos of CO2. So how can we promote tourism but cut on emissions? Issue number two is that 3.5 billion people are highly vulnerable to climate change. How can we make people more climate aware? And issue number three is that 1 billion people live in urban slums and are the most vulnerable group when it comes to climate change. How can we change their future? We decided to leverage the metaverse for addressing these issues. We propose to create a network of virtual galleries of climate art on Superworld. And we will have galleries in Porto Viejo and in the most climate fragile ecosystems on the planet, namely the Arctic, the Antarctic, Tuvalu, and the Maldives. virtual tourists to these galleries would have a relatively low carbon footprint. So more tourism, but less CO2. We would develop the galleries using a network of students, gamers, metaverse engineers, architects, digital artists, and others. This would both foster skills for the future and have more active engagement on climate change. We would generate revenues from carbon neutral non-fungible tokens or NFTs, gallery fees, rentals, and sales of digital assets. We have an in-principle agreement to collaborate with ClimeArt at Norway's National Science and Technology University, and we are formalizing MOUs with the Technical University of Manabi in Porto Viejo and the Eloy Alfaro Lay University of Manabi in Manta. By demonstrating collaborative models in the metaverse together with generation of revenue streams, we would have created a template that could address SDG's goal to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. We could also adopt our approach to transform cities and slums and explore innovating financing models using the metaverse. The galleries could include event spaces, meeting rooms, entertainment zones, dedicated corporate areas, and training facilities. Imagine a virtual campus of the Technical University of Porto Viejo in the Arctic. It would be so cool, literally. This unique campus could instill a sense of climate responsibility and combine education with art, entertainment, and social interaction. We have completed the UI/UX design of the platform for collecting climate art and managing the sale of art using NFTs. We launched a global challenge on Art Bazaar to develop the architectural designs for the gallery. We received 10 submissions, as you can see here. These are the best ones. The submission from GSN Italy, 4th place. Dorasi Studios Indonesia, 3rd place. Nikhil Agarwal, India, 2nd place. And the winning design from AO in Belgium. We now have a roadmap to raise funds and take the idea further. We hope to collaborate with Porto Viejo and the government of Ecuador in this endeavor. In summary, we hope to make a difference to climate change by generating climate awareness, growing virtual tourism, promoting climate art, offering new avenues for skills development, and by demonstrating ways to transform urban spaces and livelihoods for the poor. We look forward to making a difference to Porto Viejo and for Porto Viejo to make a difference to the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Randeep. You were right on time. This is your applause, as you can see. And now I think you're ready to answer some questions from the jury, I assume. So we have 2 minutes for that now.
Sure.
May I jump in? Thank you. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, Andre.
Thank you for the presentation. I was wondering how you included the users in your journey and how you evaluate their reactions, their behaviors, their feelings in terms of your product or your approach and your concept.
Yes, so Andrea, we reached out to ClimeArt, which is in the National University of Science and Technology in Norway. And they had a project which was looking at what is the impact of visual art on behavior. And they did a lot of research in this space. And we talked to Professor Christian Klockner, who led that entire initiative. So our understanding is that we will collaborate with them and we will try to see how we can design into the solution that we are proposing means of collecting data, but with consent and being mindful of privacy, so that we can see how looking at climate art, which is immersive, can change behavior. So what are the types of art which can trigger a change in behavior, and to that extent, use that analytics to take things forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So there are no other questions. Also, the time is running. Thank you, Randy, for your presentation, for your pitch. We will now continue with the next and last team of our final round. The last team is Refreshers Box with the challenge Urban Green Recovery. So as we await them to join us on the stage, oh, perfect.
Hello.
That was fast. Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Can you hear your screen? Let's try if this works.
Yeah. You can see my screen?
I can see your screen. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Perfect. So jump right into it.
All right. Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Gernot Zimmermann, and I'm part of Team Refresher Box. How do you clean your textile? Obviously, with the washing machine. But there are things that you can't clean in the washing machine. So if you do a lot of sports, for example, you might realize that your shoes can smell quite a lot. And even usual textiles, we clean in the washing machine, even if they don't have stains. No ketchup, nothing, just sweat and the smell, and still we clean them with the washing machine. But the washing machine uses a lot of water. Oh, nearly 16 gigatons of water worldwide every single year. Plus all the chemicals which we put into our washing machines to clean our textiles. The washing machine is already quite old, washing with water and chemicals. So there should be time for a change. And that's what we brought, the Refresher Box, which cleans without water and without chemicals. And that's not just it. Working without water and without chemicals means you don't have microplastic. You don't have the transportation of the chemicals, no transportation of the water, no storage of the water, no manufacturing of the chemicals, no wear, no tear in our washing machine with the Refresher Box. How does it work? We use an intelligent combination of physical methods to eliminate all viruses, all bacteria, all fungi, all microorganisms deep inside of our textiles, either shoes or suits or helmets, whatever. But let's see how this works like in detail. Okay, let's have viruses, bacteria, fungi, and now the UV light, the ozone, the temperature works to actually destroy and can even kill the RNA inside of the virus. And with then some air pressure through a filter, we can remove these particles and release just fresh air out of the Refresher Box. And this is not just a prototype. This is actually a product which is proved by Miele, one of Germany's largest washing machine manufacturers, but also institutes like Fraunhofer, who proved that we can remove 100% of the coronavirus in our textiles, which makes it feasible, for example, for healthcare, for hospitals. And that's where they use our Refresher Box in Germany, in the healthcare, in the sneaker market, in the e-commerce market, in the jeans market, several. But most interesting for here are actually hotels, where I'm standing right now. In a hotel, you can clean your textile in 30 minutes with the Refresher Box. And we already have several chains behind us, as you see. But this is not where we want to stop. Imagining space. There is no water. There are no chemicals. There's basically nothing. But the Refresher Box just needs power. So this could be a use case. You have sports equipment, you have theaters, Hollywood, you have VR headsets, you have bowling shoes. Maybe the one or the other has been to a bowling center and still has that wet shoe from the last person in his hand. All in all, the refresher box is fast, 30 minutes. It is gentle to any textile. And most important, what we work on and what our mission is being eco-friendly, saving 1 gigaton of CO2 and therefore having a big sustainable impact. Coming to Rwanda, women need to walk every day 6 kilometers just to get some water. So we want to build in Rwanda a refresher box for Africa to raise the hygiene standards and make a new role model for the world. This with our interdisciplinary team. Our vision is not to make a better washing machine, but to change washing for the future, because this is the center of innovation. Thank you.
Thank you, Gernot, for your presentation and for your very passionate pitch. So, do we have questions from the jury?
Yes, actually, I was wondering, how often do you need to clean then your refreshing box? So if you use it, for example, in a hotel or something like that to clean the product that you use there in a daily basis. So how often do you need them to clean the refresher box and to, I don't know, maybe check on the system and so on?
You can refresh your textile as often as you want with the refresher box. The best part is actually that we can remove all microorganisms. If you, for example, take some sports shirt, usually you would wash that at like 40-30 degrees, but the washing machine can't kill the microorganisms under 60 degrees. And therefore, you will feel that after like wearing it for some minutes, it will start actually smelling quite fast again. And with the refresher box, we can eliminate all of these microorganisms. You can use it in the hotel to actually reduce the amount of luggage you have with you, and therefore also have another footprint on the earth. I have to say again, like, we can't remove stains yet. We do have the solution, and we patented the solution how we can do it without water and chemicals. So, but this will be then the next version coming to the market. I hope that answered a bit of your question.
Again, I had a similar or kind of similar question. You were talking about that you're not using water, etc. anymore, but still using the power. Is the amount of power, let's call it like that, is it comparable with a normal washing machine, or do you get, that we get an impression about what kind of...
Thank you very much for that question. Very, very important question. It wouldn't make sense if we use more power, and we definitely not use more power, because the usual washing machine uses most of electricity to heat up the water. And as we don't have water, of course, we don't use that much electricity. So you can compare it kind of like to a microwave. So we use a little amount of electricity. And if you would that bring into cost, it would mean like 3 cents per item that you put in there. Otherwise, it would make like the whole circular economy picture.
So I hope and see your idea is well thought of. Thank you very much, Refresher Box, for pitching at today's final round. So now we kindly hide you from the stage, Gernot, and it's only me and the jury. The jury has seen some amazing solutions for tackling major issues we are facing in alignment with SDG11. So to take your time and to evaluate the top 3 winning teams, I will now say that the jury will leave this room. There's a certain and a specific booth which is titled Jury Decision. That's where you guys will meet again and discuss your decision. So at this point, you will be, I guess, even removed from the stage, and you'll directly can go to the other room. So for all of the other ones staying here, in the meantime, until we find out which of the three teams were convincing in their pitches, we can kindly welcome Natalia to the stage. She's already in the backstage, so we can now at least personally welcome and introduce you again. So welcome, Natalia Almeida. Let's find out.
Hi,
if you
can you hear me?
There. I can hear you. Perfect. So,
hi everyone.
Natalia.
Good morning.
Good. Oh, it's good morning for you. It's good evening for us over here.
Good evening for everyone.
So, are you in Ecuador right now, Natalia?
Yes, I'm in Quito, which is the city capital. Yes.
Perfect. So live from Quito in Ecuador, we're very, very happy to welcome you, Natalia, as our keynote speaker in this session. You are a Deputy Executive Director at the Alliance for Entrepreneurship and Innovation in Ecuador. So right now, I'm very excited to now learn more about what connects digital innovation, sustainability, and entrepreneurs. That's at least what your title says. So one last point before I leave the stage and you can start your keynote, feel free to let us know if you have any questions or comments for Natalia. You can use the Q&A section during the keynote to interact with us. Hopefully you will have some time left to answer your questions later on. So for now, I'll let you take the stage, Natalia.
Thank you, Lydia, and good evening, good morning to everyone. It's an honor to me to be able to speak here in this amazing event. Congratulations for all the winners and all the different proposals from new ideas and entrepreneurs, which are making a difference in the world. My name, well, as you know, is Natalia, and I represent AEI, which is it's a network of public, private, academic, and entrepreneurs organization. It's a private NGO in Ecuador, which supports the different programs to promote entrepreneurial activity in the country. We've been working for already almost 9 years, and we have more than 150 actors together in this whole network. We work in different programs. I'm gonna share to you now. I'm gonna share my screen now just to show you which is part of this network. AEI is Alliance for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and until December now 2022, we have already 150 members. Some of these are companies. We also work together with the government, with the specific institutions from the government who work together with entrepreneurial activities or productivity, and also with universities. And we have some international partners which help us to promote all these different activities that we do in the country. Our purpose is actually to make Ecuador become one of the most attractive countries to startups and also to innovate. We work in the different challenges that the ecosystem has, such as regulatory framework, lack of innovation, lack of articulation between universities and also the industrial sector. And we work with our purpose is to help entrepreneurs to grow and scale. So I wanted to just point out here this study from CV Insights, which is talking about which are the main problems for the entrepreneurs or why do they fail. Most of them are run out of cash, no market need, and because they also flow the business model and the regulatory framework. We want to work in all these different areas, so we have specific programs to help the entrepreneurs in this. In the growth of the entrepreneurial activity, we support with seed funds that mainly are from government side, and we wish it could be a lot more in our country. We don't have that much, but it helps in the first stage, right, of the entrepreneurial process. And then we gather different types of financial funds, such as like angel investments, VCs, and also private equity. This is something that we create different spaces where the entrepreneurs can go there and pitch for their ideas. And we've had some amazing results out of it when already we have a specific entrepreneurial example, which is Waikana, is a startup that produce tea from guayusa, which is a leaf that it's in the Amazon jungle. And actually now they started just brewing and making this drink. Then they change with funds. They change their type of product. They make it more industrialized, and they brought it to different countries. Now they are exporting to US and also Europe market, which is one of the main accomplishments. And we want to do much more like this type of activities for entrepreneurs. So in the chart that I showed you before, what are the main reasons that the startups fail? The funds, you need to search for them according on which stage are you at. And then the other one about the business model, we also promote that the model promotes inclusiveness and also environment impact and social impact. This previous example that I told you, Waikana, they work with communities in the jungle, which help them to produce this leaf and to gather in one place so they can grab the ones that are very useful and the ones that are not. They put it in another place. They work with communities of women. They work with communities also from the Amazon side and the Andean side also for the different logistics. 65% of the people who are involved in the supply chain and in the whole productive process are women. Women who are mainly the head of the families, and they need income for their children's study and stuff. So we are also conscious of we can help these different types of entrepreneurs who are helping also other communities and people involved in the whole process of their growth. And the other one that I was also talking about, one of the main failures is about the policy and regulatory framework in the countries. And this is something that we also work. We develop and design public policy together along with all this number of actors that I showed you in the first picture, which are the ones that help us to understand what are the main problematics around starting a business, or when you want to close it, if you have any problems and it doesn't take too long, or you don't have to accumulate too much debt, or in the process of functioning, if you want to export, things like this. So we work, we understand, first of all, what are the main problematics. From them, we create this policy framework. We ask entrepreneurs, we validate with them, because this is very important for us to understand from the point of view of the final user and the one that is actually having all the problems. And then from there, we create these public policies and we introduce to the government. We go to ministries, we go to National Assembly like the Congress, and we introduce to different bodies in the public system, so we can get together better environment to startups and also to innovate. Doing this work, we promote to have the first law of entrepreneurship and innovation approved in 2020, which already promotes and helps different types of non-traditional fundings, such as crowdfunding platforms, and also a new system to startups to have in less time. They do the formalized creation of the business. So these are two of the main results of working all together for policy framework. And well, I think we also have time for questions, so I'm gonna stop right there. And I don't know, Lydia, if you help me if there are some questions from the viewers.
First of all, thank you very much, Natalia, for your inspiring input that you just gave us. Thank you so much. So I'm just having a look at the Q&A section, but I haven't seen any questions yet. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to write them down, or even in the chat section, no worries. But if there are no questions coming in, I just stay as I was, and I thank you for coming. Thank you for showing us what you in Ecuador have been doing. So, oh, I have a question, which is very interesting. The question is, how and where can I apply?
Okay, great. I was showing you just a little part of what all the things that we do. We have open calls to get together to the market. This is one of the main reasons also that I forgot to mention, that it's one of the main reasons that the startups fail is because they don't have access to market. So we have open calls during the year. We First of all, we have some requests from the companies that we work, and they tell us, for example, we need some products for baby food or pet food, or I don't know, just to sell in the supermarkets. So we open these calls for any startup, any producer that they are doing this in Ecuador. We mainly want to focus in promoting entrepreneurship in Ecuador, but it's also welcome to people to come here and start their own business. This is also something that we would like to happen even more. So our website is www.aei.ec. You will find us there, all the different programs. We don't have right now English version, but hopefully Google Translate or another tool for now will help us with that.
Perfect, thank you. Thumbs up for your answer, I guess. And there's also just a comment that I see saying, "Hi, Natalia, I just want to congratulate you for the work you are leading to promote innovation processes." So you can take this as a compliment.
Thank you very much. We are also part of the GEN, that it's the Global Entrepreneurial Network, which puts together all the different delegations from the world. And we were just in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia talking about the work that we've been doing, putting together a strategy framework to work together with all these different actors. So I'm happy to help, like, if you have any questions of the work that we've been doing, and also happy to connect with someone to have more opportunities to become more innovative and bring also digital transformation to Ecuador.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Natalia, also for the offer you just said. I guess at this point, I can take you backstage again. And thank you, first of all, for your input, for your inspiring words, and also for your helpful offer. We will continue with our next point on the agenda. This is your applause. Take this. Thank you again. Bye. So, after Natalia's inspiring words, and before we will know who won the overall final round of Innovate2030 SDG11, we will award the social media prize winners. So one of the teams from all the teams has won a very special award, I would say. And also worth mentioning is that the winners of the social media prize will receive extra 1,000 euros. Extra in terms of they have won something already, or they will win 1,000 euros for sure. Because the team that has won is none of the teams that has won the challenge yet. And it was a very busy team posting on social media during the elaboration phase, so early on. And I would like to now announce the team. Congratulations on the social media award to the team. You can show the slide now. Cubics. So let's give them a round of applause. They did the most. They showed all their effort in posting and keeping their community and network informed about everything going on. So Cubics, you will receive 1,000 euros prize money. So now give me a second to check if the jury is ready yet, because this is what would be next. I can imagine all the teams being very nervous right now, and I will try to get to the point, but give me 1 second. Oh, I see the jury's coming back. This is great. Okay, so perfect. I've been just informed about our winning teams. Pontus, I don't know if you're here by accident or if you're here on purpose, but I'll just catch that moment and spontaneously ask you about your impression of the challenge winning teams tonight. What was the first thought you had after you heard all those great solutions?
So I came back here to listening to like the announcement of the final winners. So I was kind of curious about that. Should I go back into a different room?
No, that was a question right directly to you, because I would just I would like to know, what was your impression? What were your first thoughts? What are your thoughts after listening to all of our winning teams?
No, very impressive pitches, well prepared, really interesting products. I was surprised that there were so many products proposed that were so close to market. I would have expected maybe that in a kind of innovation competition like this, most of the products that were produced or proposed would have been the kind of early stage startups. But here you had some more late stage startups and even scale ups. So that's really interesting. Obviously, it's not that important to have large amounts of prize money to get really interesting and relevant solutions.
Absolutely. Thank you for your thoughts. I can actually really agree. And now, since you've helped me, I'll help you to get into the audience again. So, as I said, we now know our top 3 teams. And I will get right to the point, because I can imagine you had a long day and you've been waiting for this moment very long. So the 3rd place of the BMZ Equipa Innovate 2030 challenge, with the focus on SDG11, goes to Team CIRP or CLERP. I haven't figured that out, but congratulations. Let us show them some love, show them the applause. You have won the 3rd place. Congratulations. I can imagine you being very happy by now, so let us know your thoughts. Congratulate the team via chat. They'll be happy to see that. We'll continue with our 2nd place. Second on our today's event on the Challenge Innovate 2030 is the team Dash Factory. Congratulations, Dash Factory, you did great. You won the 2nd place. Top 3 is, to be honest, it's very great, because I've seen all the pitches and I know how great you all have been, all 7, but even all the 23 we had today. So this is a great appreciation. So the overall winner and our 1st place We had some issues to begin with, but this is even greater to see someone win that came a bit late, but we figured it out. So maybe you know it by now. It's Banana Packaging Team. Congratulations. This is your applause, and I would like to see you on stage, to be honest, to just see your reaction. So we'll invite you now to stage. So I want to congratulate you personally. You're the first one in this challenge. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Me and my team, we are really honored.
Oh, we left her again. We missed her again, but I could see her excitement, and I guess the team was excited too. So congratulations again. You won the first rank in this challenge. And I hope that the journey just continues for all of your teams with your great, great solutions. So at the end, we're coming to the end of this long, long journey, this journey from the idea to the solution today that we've seen, and to the end of this final event. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for your great participation and close the official part of the stage for today. But first, I really want to thank all of the co-initiators for running Innovate 2030 with us. Thank you for the keynote speakers, for Natalia, for Mr. Wimmer that came earlier, for the coaches, challenge providers, for supporting the teams, and for all the valuable input. As you've seen in the feedback, the teams were very, very, very appreciating the time and the network chance they had. To all the coaches from the Impact Lab, I want to thank you for helping the teams. Thank you for the masterclass hosts who gave exciting insights the couple weeks. Julia from UNDP, Cheryl from the UNICEF, Stella from Fineo, and Christopher from Hack for Earth. The feedback was great, truly helpful. Thank you for the teams of Equipa also in the background for making all of this possible. Now we have you here again, and I'm glad because I was almost ending the session, but you're back, and this is a really nice ending. So how do you feel? How does your team feel? Congratulations again.
Thank you very much. It's a big honor. Good program because we are really moving for the step that we're beginning and for the final step now with the different master class and to the network. Network was really great in this Innovate 2030 challenge. We really appreciate and let us move together. Thank you.
Perfect. These are perfect final words. So this being said, have a very nice evening, morning, day, wherever you are. I hope to see you soon. And I hope, as you just said, the journey continues. Bye. See you then.